Just cause I'm too impatient for my camera battery to charge. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You won't believe the day I've had. So basically, this week's video was supposed to be a reading vlog of me going through my current reads on Goodreads, which I can still do because I still have 13 of them. I just don't have 17 anymore, which is fine. But the footage of that video was on an SD card that I thought had a video that I was getting rid of, so I deleted it. Which is fine. I guess things like that happen, but like, did it really have to happen to me? So basically, I was like, what can I do that's like sit downy enough without too much thought? And I'm gonna do a book tag. So every June, like end of June-ish, book talkers and on booktube tubers, they do like a halfway book tag thing, and I got these questions on an Owl's Reading Corner. It's like a blog. There will be a link down below, but there are 13 questions and I'm going to answer them using the books I've read so far. I'm currently reading Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy, and I've read 33 books out of 75 for my Goodreads challenge. So I'm going to close that window. I just cracked my phone screen. It fell on my radiator. No! Hold on. Okay, my phone has a protective screen on it, and I think I just cracked the protective screen. I've not removed it. I'm leaving it on until I finish this video, and then I'm gonna remove it and make sure it's not my actual phone screen, because I don't have Apple Care, and to replace the phone screen on an iPhone 13 Pro Max will cost a lot, and I've got no money, so let's hope it's fine. Anyway, let's get in. Okay, the best book I have read so far. Ooh, I've read a lot of good romances. However, I think I am going to have to go with Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I read this in February. It's actually in a reading vlog on my channel, and I cried. It was like 10:30 at night, which is late for, like, considerably late for me, and I was bawling my eyes out at the end. I love Charlie and Nora. I don't know what it is. And considering, like, I used to hate, hate's a strong word. I used to dislike Emily Henry, like some of the other books I've read. I love this book. And I do think about it. It's like one of the only books I've read this year that I actually think about. Like, when I'm just thinking. I love this book so much. It's not really a sequel. Ooh, okay. I've got two options. They're not really sequels, but they're like the later books in this series. I've got As Good as Dead because of the ending. There were some plot twists in here that I didn't think were going to happen, and they were amazing. Or it has to be The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. I didn't mind Terms and Conditions. I know a lot of people didn't like Declan's character, but Iris in this is amazing. But then, like, I kind of didn't like Alana, so like I really like the female lead and the male lead in this book, but I don't like both equally great. I think I rate them both 4 stars. Maybe this one 4.5. I don't remember. But yeah, these 3, my favourite sequels so far. Because I think I read the second book in this series this year, but it was my least favourite out of the 3. But I don't know where my copy is, so that's cool. I don't know what I'm excited. I know Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood comes out June 13th, which is in a week as I'm filming this. But I don't really keep up with releases, which goes for the next question. Again, I don't keep up. I know... Where did I see it to? Is it at the end of Happy Place? Or am I just being psychopath? I don't know where, but I saw somewhere that someone is releasing a book in November. and it was a female author. Is it Lynn Payne? I don't remember, but a female author is releasing a book in November, and why do I not remember what it was? But I just know that I was excited for it. My biggest disappointment by far is How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. The writing, not it. The storyline was so long-winded, and the way the characters were all interconnected, it was like kind of interesting, but it was really shoddy. Like, I really don't like this book, and if I wasn't such a hoarder, I would get rid of it like instantaneously. I don't like holding it, which is a shame because it had like quite a bit of hype, and it was in all of the like supermarkets in the UK, so that meant it was like an exciting new release and whatever. I hate talking about this book. I spoke with a friend about the book because she read it in May, and she was like, yeah, 1 star. I only finished it for my Goodreads. I was like, same. Not a chance. Biggest surprise. Oh, I'll tell you what. Okay. Number 1, Emily Henry's writing. Because the first Emily Henry book I read was You and Me on Vacation. Hated the book. These two, love. I love these books, and I'm reading Beach Read is on my summer TBR for sure. These two, love. Obsessed. But like, it wasn't the right book. And I know a lot of other people who read You and Me, or people we meet on vacation, and then they read other books and they love other books. So maybe You and Me on Vacation just is a sore thumb. But another book that really surprised me was If This Gets Out by Sophie Gonzalez and Kale Dietrich. And basically what this book is about, if you've not heard of it, I love this book. It's a boy band, and obviously in the music industry there's sort of like these regulations that boy bands are under the weight of, and 2 members are in a secret relationship, but they can't come out because they're gay. And it's just like, having been a One Direction fan and watched sort of like a similar thing unfold with like identity and control over schedules, I feel like it resonated with me a bit deeper. We know that it happens, and I don't know, I love this book. When I was reading it, I was like all in. It had my attention. So I'm gonna call this also one of the biggest surprises because I loved it. New favourite author. I must say, I have 2. So if you had asked me this question last year, I would have said Beth O'Leary and Ali Hazelwood, and that still stands. I think they're great authors, they're comfort authors, love them. However, I now have Emily Henry. Oh my god. But also, I'm gonna put Karen M. McManus, because I feel like after she released One of Us Is Lying, not a lot of people talk about the rest of her books, and I only have 1 of them left in like this little universe thingy. But these 2 are the 2 I've read this year. So you have The Cousins and You'll Be the Death of Me. There is like a reading order, but that really only applies to One of Us Is Lying and One of Us Is Next. You have to read One of Us Is Lying before One of Us Is Next. The rest are sort of like just sister novels. They're like the same situation happens to like similar aged people, but it's not the same people in the same town. It's not, it's like it's all over America. But they're great. They're fast paced, they're multiple POV, they're thrillers, especially because I'm not a big thriller reader, so it's nice to read YA thrillers. And they're like, she doesn't use any like cringy language, she doesn't use social media in a way that kind of makes you want to die. So these books, really great. And the spines are sprayed, which means if you wanted to put them on your bookshelf that way, you could have all the colours and it would look really pretty. The last one is Nothing More to Tell, which is green. So it goes red, blue, turquoise, black, purple, green, which is pretty cool. Okay, I must say, I do not think I've had crushes on any of the characters I've read this year. However, I really thought Tamlin was gonna be like a big thing for me. And when I was reading the book, I really liked Tamlin. And I went online after I read this book and everyone was like, oh, in Court of Mist and Fury, everyone thought all Rysand. and I forgot about Rysand fast. Tamlin stayed in my brain, and obviously I've not read the rest of the series, so I don't really know if there's anything wrong with him, but personally I don't think there's anything wrong with Tamlin. However, I wouldn't call him like a crush. He's more just like there, you know? If I'm thinking about people that I think about, it would have to be Freddie from Falling Hard for the Royal Guard. I'm like smitten with him. I think this goes back to biggest disappointment. I feel like Megan Clawson could have done so much more and so much better with this book. This book was really average, and it could have been amazing. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like there's so many answers I could give for each question, and I feel like I'm missing the point. Maybe I'll just have to go with Callahan from Final Offer. This is really hard to think about. Oh. Okay. I recently read this book by Katie Brandt, How to Kill Men and Get Away with It. And Kitty Collins is the lead character. She is the woman. I think she's spicy. Although she is ignorant, she's like self-aware. And she can be a little bit selfish, but I like how thorough she is, basically. But as other characters go, Joseph Carter from The No Show, which also counts as one of my biggest surprises because the ending in this book was so refreshing. It is a slow burn, like it really is. It moves quite slow at the beginning compared to some of her other work, but oh my god, I think I've not thought about these books in ages because they've just been in a bag because I don't have a shelf. I don't have room for a shelf. They sit in a bag until I do my yearly review at the end of the year. I'm like so happy to be surrounded by books. Okay, favorite character, Joseph Carter or Kitty Collins or one of the Kane brothers, I think. Or Nora and Charlie. Oh my god, I'm answering too much. There's too much going on. I literally cannot think. I don't know if Happy Place made me cry. I think this did a little bit. This made me cry with freaking frustration because I'm so over it. Oh. Ooh, and a rogue one. But The Last Library by Freya Sampson. I don't remember much about this book. It is kind of like you read it once and you forget about it, which is no shade to her. I think I've just read better books after, so I forget about it. But I just remember the end of this being so well-rounded that I think it was either this one or Midnight Library, and I just cried. I just like teared up a little bit, you know? I don't know which one it was, but I know it's definitely one of them. Is it cliche to say Happy Place? I'll tell you what also, we'll give a shout out to Lynn Painter, who, this first book I've read by her, I wanted to read better in the movies, but I just couldn't find it. The Love Wager. It's like the groveling wasn't bad, there were quotes I like, it just made me happy. I don't know, it's a sort of like a slow burn, fake dating, but like it made me happy because it's jewel pop and I love men's point of views in romance books. It made me feel content, which I feel like is similar to Happy. So it looks like the Tickle Pink section in Asda won out for this question. So if we're going strictly off covers, it would either have to be Kawaguchi's Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Happy Place by Emily Henry, or just to be completely... Emily, where are you going? Or just to be completely objective. This is massive, by the way. Look at the size difference. A Court Full of Roses is a classic cover. It's pretty. These are cute. There's a little pussycat. They're just all very different styles, but they're all very beautiful. And if you're gonna go beautiful based on context, I would either have to go this one again, so Before the Coffee Gets Cold, or The Midnight Library. The concepts are amazing, and I think there's probably the potential for a lot of people to do similar things. I have definitely thought about writing similar things, but I think once you read it once, it is just gonna stick with you. I love them. I'm going to expand this and also include series. So in January, I started the Summer Item Pretty series, and I'm gonna read the next two. They're not hard books to read, they're teen YA. The only problem is I have to buy them. Do I have books I want to read by the end of the year? Yes. I'd like to finish the Folk of the Year series, like the extra little book that goes along with it. The same with Holly Jackson's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. But there are like, I don't know. I'd really like to read more Harry Potter as well, because I'm halfway through the Goblet of Fire, but I hate the Goblet of Fire. It's my least favourite movie, it's my least favourite book, which I think it's fair to say, because it's like, I just don't care. Not like I don't care, that sounds mean, but like I don't care. And J.K. Rowling's writing is so lengthy and anything. That is my book tag, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's it, right? I'm gonna sign this off vlog style. Thank you for watching this week's video. It was really rushed, and I feel like I could have talked more about some of the questions, but I don't want to start, not an argument. I guess discussions are healthy, but like an argument if I go into like biggest disappointments, because I have quite a few, but I will tell you all about them in the yearly wrap up. But thank you for watching this video. Let me know if you have answers to any of the questions, put them down below, and make sure you check out the blog where I got the questions in the description box. I love books.